Hey guys, it's Sunday, 17th of October. I've just finished all the bearings, replacing all the bearings and any other parts on this 99 Wolverine 350. Pretty much done it from top to bottom. It didn't work when I got it, so I redid a top end, rear end, a bunch of the electrical, a bunch of the mods to go on it. And I gotta be honest with you, it's my first 4x4. I usually drive two-wheel drives like Warriors, Raptors, things of that nature. This thing's actually pretty close. It doesn't handle like a two-wheel drive though, obviously, and it's quite a bit heavier. That would probably be the downside. She definitely has the speed, 95k on a flat, lots of climbing power. I've taken this thing today up in dirt biking trails, which are damn near vertical, and no problem. Second gear all the way. She just takes it and keeps on going. A lot of the other reviews on these units, although this one's quite a bit older now, is that they were hard to kill. I will give it that. It's definitely hard to stop unless you come down with electrical problems. That is definitely one of the worst parts about four-wheel drives that I've found so far, now that I've got a couple. Two-wheel drives were very simple, you know. Electrical was pretty straightforward. These things, not so much. It's just like every other four-wheel drive with the overcomplicated electrical. Let's see. Other than that, yeah, I mean, these are great units. They're like two-wheel drives when it comes to speed, but it does handle like a four-wheel drive. So you won't be tailing out your back end. There's essentially too much control for using it as if it was a two-wheel drive. Other than that, doesn't have a problem overheating. I would say that the carburetors on these things, and a lot of guys also have the same opinions, is that the carburetors are overcomplicated and don't work very well. So they generally swap them out for like Big Bear carburetors, which if you get the right boot, no problem, they do attach, and there is room for it. And apparently they run really well. Then I believe they do get a bit hot. It doesn't come with any gauges on it, so there's no way to check your kilometers or hours. They did generally come with a back rack. The front rack was aftermarket, so you've got that, but it is available, or was. Overall, really good unit, I think, personally. I've driven a lot of two-wheel drives, so, you know, other than the extra complications that come with them, I mean, when they run really well. It does seem to be that if you obviously don't take care of things, they're going to fall apart. And this one, along with its big brother, wasn't very well taken care of until I got them. Right down to not even greasing things. You know, I personally like to use them a few times and then wash them up and give them a coating of storage grease just on all the moving parts, just to make sure that they don't rust and they don't dry out. So yeah, decent tires. They're 12s, or sorry, yeah, it's 12s on the back and 8s on the front, or sorry, 25s and 8s, something along those natures. I didn't do my own tires, never did. Suspension's pretty good. Definitely could use some beefier shocks. Other than that, it's supposed to have a 700-pound towing capacity. I could see it on a flat, definitely not on an incline. I mean, I have a little trailer that I'm converting over to use this thing for deep bush, but yeah, I don't think I'd go over probably 350 pounds total, including myself. And, you know, I'm sitting at $2, 205 now. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion on these older Wolverines. Definitely a handy bike. You can still get all the parts. They're not too overly expensive. I redid the back end completely, so you've got a new shaft, kingpin, and the actual gear race. The arm was fine. The body was refreshed, new decals, new lights. Other than that, it's all been about the electrical when it came to repairs as to why it wasn't running properly. It's been electrical the whole way. Famous with Yamahas. Sensors go on the older ones, and these handles generally loosen up. So these ones are actually disconnected. She still does use the actual shut-off on the handle and everything, but it won't stall or go into limp mode if you're essentially in gear. But other than that, I think you can still buy those as well. Decent sized fuel tank, doesn't burn a lot of fuel. But yeah, quite a decent unit. I've got to actually clean it all up now and get my cap rubbers back on because I forgot those. And yeah, overall, if you can get your hands on one of these and the electrical, I mean, if it's not too bad, CDI boxes and everything are still available, and the original ones from Volkswagen. They're expensive compared to kind of what you should be able to get. They're quite expensive. But yeah, other than that, excellent mud bogger. We're out here today and it's been raining for the past week. There isn't too many puddles that I haven't been able to just power through, and she does slide quite nice for control wise. Other than that, yeah, it's a pretty decent overall unit, and they're not extremely expensive. I was gonna post this one for about $2,600, and to be honest with you, with everything being rebuilt, the bottom end, surprisingly, when we did the measurements on all the cogs, was down to like 95%, which is not bad seeing how this has been running since 99. And yeah, the top end, it was just a couple new rings, the piston itself, and the actual diameters of the shaft, or the piston's shaft area is all good. The bearings on the lower end still fine, and they're right from the factory, so they're the exact same ones that have been in there since day one. But yeah, I would say definitely something worth picking up if it needs work. Just keep in mind that generally most of the problems are in the electrical and the carburetors. All right, so we'll get our next one out here, which I will believe will be a Kawasaki. Once my parts come in, I'm going to slap her back together and take it for a test drive and try it out.